In Europe, Muslims are on the rise. And even though you hear about France and you hear about the hijab taken off women's heads and you hear about pressure in the streets, the reality is on the ground that in Paris and Marseille, two largest cities, in France, 45% of people 25 years or under are Muslims. 45% of the population. In Belgium and in Holland, recent studies have shown that 1 out of every 2 babies born in the hospital, they're Muslims. 50% of the children born in their hospitals. And you will see the numbers rising. Even here in the Americas, you will see a huge increase happening now. There are many Hispanic people, and we have met Muslims now from South America, from Uruguay, Ecuador, from Peru, and this is not necessarily Muslims who migrated there. This is the indigenous people of Mexico. Also now there is a call, and Islam is on the rise. And in North America, as quiet as it's kept, especially in the United States, Islam is still rising. And so in terms of numbers, we are expanding, and we are people of the future. In terms of mineral wealth, our countries have within the ground, underneath the countries, huge mineral deposits. If you look under the ground, then you will see minerals, very important minerals. And I remember the struggle that went on in the Sahara, in the Great Desert, in Mali. And the French soldiers came in because of supposedly a rebellion of the Tuareg. And the Tuareg are people who, the men wear veils in the desert. Right? So the French came in because they wanted to bring stability to Mali. But the reality was that it has one of the largest uranium deposits in the world. It's under the desert in Mali. And the French nuclear program is based upon that. So the reason why they rushed there was not to help the Tuareg or the Malian government. It was the minerals. Similarly in Afghanistan, even in Somalia, when we were in Cape Town, a delegation came from Hargeisa to the Muslim Judicial Council. I was part of that council at the time. These are the leaders in Somaliland, and they were negotiating with South African mining companies to deal with the huge deposits of wealth, mineral wealth that is there. So let us not be fooled about what is going on. Our resources are powerful. In most countries, 60% of our population are young people. So the potential is there, but the problem is that we're looking at now is with the huge numbers, with the great wealth, there's a contradiction. Because with the great wealth, there is also poverty. There is amazing poverty, serious problems that are going on. And it is mind-boggling why Muslims coming out of the so-called Middle East, out of East Africa, even West Africa, would throw themselves into the Mediterranean just to get across, to go into Europe, to a place where the people do not want them. So something is seriously wrong. And that is the issue that we are looking at. That contradiction that is going on. And we recognize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has clearly told us, as we cry for change, we are crying for change. But Allah told us very clearly at Surah Al-Ra'd, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change that which is in themselves. An internal change has to come about for our dua that we are making to be answered, for our numbers to be effective. An internal change has to come about. Right? They have destroyed our leaders. There was apostation, ridda, from just after the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Major fitna, confusion came in the ummah. We were attacked over and over again by waves of crusaders. Al-Maghul, the Mongols hit the Muslim nation like Yajuj and Majuj. Colonialism, our countries destroyed, leadership killed. We see it happening over and over again. Now we see cities decimated. But somehow we come back. We come back. That is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That people who are not Muslim enter into Islam, but also that Muslims analyze themselves, make repentance, and reconstruct. And they come back. Tawbah is a crucial issue for us, and it shouldn't end there. To be sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also to come to the aid and assistance of His religion. It's not just to talk, but whatever skills, whatever abilities we have, some of it has to go toward raising this ummah up. And this especially is important for Muslims living in Canada, who are living in North America, in parts of Europe where there is ease to a certain extent, where we have skills development training, that skills development training should not just be in order to get 2 houses or to have extra money, but something, we have to dedicate something in our life that we would use that skill that Allah gave us. Think about what you have, whatever it is you have, right? To take something that you have and give it back to the ummah. You will do something to assist Muslims.